To make incident management more effective and efficient, we have created a functionality to collaborate with your interested parties. We call these interested parties stakeholders. In any account, we can set up stakeholder agreements that allow us to connect to stakeholders during an event and collaborate during ongoing events in active logs. If we take a look at the collaboration section in the account settings, we'll see a complete list of all stakeholders in our account on the left side, and we can make changes to the stakeholders by selecting a stakeholder and edit on the right side. To create a new stakeholder agreement, click the Invite Stakeholder button and fill in the contact information of the person you want to send the agreement to. If you want, you can choose to write down a personal message that will be attached to the invitation. You can also see a preview of the invitation before you send it. A common question many have is it only possible to send out invitations to other customers that uses RAYVN? And the answer is no. You can send invitations to anyone you want to collaborate with. If the person does not have a RAYVN account, they will receive an offer for a one-user account that they can strictly use to collaborate with your account. Your stakeholder will receive an email that contains a 5-digit code. When they want to accept the stakeholder agreement, all they need to do is copy that 5-digit code and add it to these sections of the stakeholder section. When the stakeholder has accepted the agreement, you'll see a handshake symbol next to the name of the stakeholder. After the stakeholder has accepted the agreement, you'll be able to select a so-called responsible team for your stakeholder agreement. The team you select will be the people that are notified when your stakeholder wants to collaborate with you. It is also the team that will receive notifications from your stakeholder when they want to send a log entry without starting a stakeholder collaboration during an ongoing log. It's important to note that anyone can share information with your stakeholder after they have accepted to collaborate in a log, but the initial notification that is sent out when your stakeholder asks to collaborate during an event only goes out to the members of the responsible team that you select. If you want, you can create a specific team that handles stakeholder collaboration invites. Go to Teams, create new team, and create a team that is responsible for the stakeholders. After you've created the team, go back to the collaboration section, select the stakeholder, and choose the correct responsible team. After your stakeholder is set up in the account settings, it is also possible to make changes to the name of your stakeholder, change the responsible team, and add notes if necessary. If the stakeholder agreement is broken, the handshake will disappear. This can happen if, for example, your stakeholder has removed the agreement from their account. As well as external stakeholders, you can also set up agreements with internal stakeholders. Internal stakeholders are meant to be set up to collaborate within the hierarchy in your account. Internal stakeholder collaboration agreements can only be set up to one step down or up between groups in the hierarchy. That means if your group is in a subgroup of one of the subgroups in the hierarchy, you cannot set up an internal stakeholder collaboration agreement with the top group of the hierarchy. You can only set up an agreement with the group right above yours. However, if you want to set up stakeholder agreements with the top group in your account, you can still do so just by using the external stakeholder methods. For now, let's take a look at how we can set up internal stakeholder agreements. First, you'll need access to the account settings, and then select the name of the group where you want to set up the internal stakeholder agreements. Toggle to the Edit Group section, and then turn on Internal Stakeholder. You then have to select a responsible team for the internal stakeholder agreement to take effect. Then you need to access the group that you want to set up the stakeholder agreement with underneath your group. Access the subgroup or have an admin in that subgroup toggle the same switch on their end. When you've set up the internal stakeholder agreement, you'll see the stakeholder in the section that shows all stakeholder agreements. As you can see, there is now a separate section for external stakeholders and internal stakeholders. When you want to start collaborating with an internal stakeholder or an external stakeholder in an ongoing log, go to the Stakeholder section on the right side of the screen and click Mobilize Stakeholders. You'll see a complete list of all the external stakeholders in your group, but on the left side, you can click on the house icon to see internal stakeholders as well. Select the stakeholder you want to, and then click Mobilize. The stakeholder receiving the notification will notice that the process looks the same for when they're receiving invitations from external and internal stakeholders. If someone has sent you an invitation to set up a stakeholder agreement, you'll receive an email that contains the name of the person who sent you the invitation, the name of the account the invitation was sent from, and a 5-digit code. If you already have a RAYVN account, you can copy the 5-digit code and enter it in the stakeholder section in the account settings to accept the agreement. Note that you need access to the account settings to do this, and if your user does not have the access to the section, we recommend sending the email to a user in your group with an administrator role. If you're receiving an invitation to collaborate during an ongoing incident from your stakeholder, you'll notice a light red banner across the top of your screen. If you click it, you'll get a few different options. You can either decline the invitation or accept it, and if you want to accept it, you can do so in 3 different ways. You can either accept the invitation and start a new log with the same title as your stakeholder, or you can accept the invitation and handle the incident from one of your ongoing logs, or you can accept it and start a new log based on one of your own templates. Lastly, you can also choose Handle this later if you're not yet ready to make a decision on how to handle the incoming invite.